Thank you. I will let you
Oh,
know what
the
I
bottom
find.
of a vehicle slapped one of them in the head,
I
threw
look
him like a
forward to
rag
our
doll.
meeting again.
And all I heard was like something like a gong. Tung! Flying
Sorry,
corpse.
I don't mean to bother you, but I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hatari this whole time. I figured it might be useful if I offered another perspective.
Of course.
I have to say, I fully expected you to side with the Hotari, but obviously the Federation wants a steady supply of dilithium. Something only we can offer. Without a Lydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. Left to the Hotari, it would be nothing short of a disaster.
We're not on either side. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution to this conflict.
As is ours. Of course, the question is, at what price? A Major Salit Arminta, Special Attaché, Lydian Armed Forces. A pleasure to meet you.
Commander Rydek, First Officer, USS Resolute.
Yes. A research ship, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
Something tells me there's more to the story. So what really happened?
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself.
The energy readings we've seen are off the charts. There's no way they'd be able to somehow harness it. That sort of technology doesn't even exist.
I know. I felt the same way. But each person told the same story. If you'll excuse me, Commander Rydek. Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
And now I'm back in space. But before I left the ground, those people are mad at each other.
Uh-huh.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Oh, goddamn, I gotta fly the fucking shell. God.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jesus.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And, Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
I just don't take it personally. At least I try not to.
That's a very mature answer. Shows a positive attitude on your part. Remind me of it when I start complaining to you about the ship's new first officer. This is far enough. Transporting the first probe into position. Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
I'm just not getting any traction with her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. She didn't listen to me when you were out on the hull and I was trying to make it safer for you. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa.
Hey.
All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
Man, I'll just hang out and talk to myself.
What was that?
With 2 points of data.
You didn't
the
really
Resolute
say
and the
anything just
probe,
until now.
We managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a
True.
waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference.
But you
We'll
guys
deploy the
weren't
second
talking
probe
either,
there.
so I was like, oh,
Well,
just
because we're focused on the game. That's what happened. We're focused on the game.
Listen,
Sounds like an excuse
I'm
to
gonna give you
me.
a piece of advice I wish someone
Sure.
had given me.
Pick
Make
up-
never just one thing. And don't get so focused
busy
on
at
what's
the
in
moment.
front of your face
Yeah,
that
see,
you lose
told
sight
you.
of the big picture.
Alright.
Before Rydek showed up, the captain
I was
pulled
just
me in, was
fishing to
ready,
see if there was a
told me he didn't
response.
think I had the
Almost
found
skills
it.
to be first officer.
Don't be rude.
What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
Is that why you're being so friendly to me? Politics?
That would be clever, but I think you give me more credit than the captain does. You're all right, Diaz. And you've got potential. You're a capable engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up the good work. Who knows? A solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy where I am.
You must be a glutton for punishment. Lieutenant Commander Chobak has been known to take decades to warm up to people.
You know what? I'm starting to feel like we're doing at least the breakthroughs a little bit wrong.
Why?
Well, it's nice that we're clearing them quickly, but, you know, there's several things that we could be doing, too, to increase how much experience we get each match.
Here.
Okay.
This is close enough. Stop the engines.
Well, obviously the combat ribbons and the capture ribbons, right?
Deploying the probe.
But you also have the support ribbons and the intel ribbons.
Westbrook to Commander Chobak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
I don't.
Very good. Running the simulation again.
We don't really go for the
Warp field collapse in 3, 2.
But, hear me out. If you max them out each game, like, I just got myself 22,000
There it is again.
experience. Just from doing that. Just from maxing out 3 out of the 4
Magic.
campaign ribbons.
Seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans?
He's just saying he doesn't want to listen, or, he's tired of listening to us.
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and probes.
This interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the
This,
sensors
ladies and
manually.
gentlemen, is what we call a man tantrum.
We got something. It's markers that look at the interference maps. Let's see if we can find some more. Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
We're under attack and we didn't even know it. Let's stop them. Unplug whatever it is they're hitting us with.
Now, look here. It's our current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations. They line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger. Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out.
A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Elydians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
We're right to be worried. If they're targeting the Resolute and we can't go to warp, that effectively leaves us at their mercy.
Which puts us in a rather difficult position.
Especially if they have more tricks up their sleeve.
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She's the one who
Jacob.
seemed to genuinely appreciate that the Federation She believes in us.
Are you bored
We
already?
can believe in her.
Eat a dick.
She's certainly more likely to help
Yeah, he's
than the
bored.
other Hotari we've met.
That raises
Eat a
another
dick.
question.
Eat
Specifically,
a dick.
what do the other
Eat a
Hotari
dick.
have to gain in bringing
Eat
us
a
here,
dick.
only to
Eat a
make
dick.
hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Sidron was very
Eat a
curious
dick.
when we spoke outside the Queen's chamber. He wanted to know all about us, our ship, the Federation. He wasn't giving any answers. He was looking for them.
Well, I'm sure you didn't tell him too much. I don't think the Elydians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintas said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harnessed the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm.
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Elydians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hotari. The Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
It's hard to tell.
Tylus wouldn't have offered to help if she didn't know what she was doing.
That's a lot of faith in someone we barely know. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Elydians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We were, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
What the Federation doesn't know won't hurt them. If I do it right, nobody will know I was there.
Commander, I'm surprised at you.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari. Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
I didn't like this warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and find out?
Took some damage on the way. That ionic interference scored the hull plating. Might be some micro welds. Let's try pulling together.
All right.
3, 2, 1. It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage. We need to... Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
Here, I'll help.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Well, what can I say? I'm good at what I do.
I can see that.
Come on, start pulling chips.
Wait, did I make his girlfriend mad at him? Oh, the fuck did I do? Oh,
I didn't make mine mad.
because I said I'm good at what I do, and then the picture of her turned red. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? So that's for the relationship. I did.
Good job. Good job.
Uh-huh.
I didn't ruin mine.
Uh-huh.
That is a match.
I just didn't mean to.
What's this?
Some kind of crystal formation?
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level. What's it doing in there?
Wait. Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Well, if it's not natural, then someone might have put it there. It could be a tracking device. Some kind of sabotage. Or even a bomb.
Which is why we need to get it to the containment lab.
Come on.
I can't make an exception. Not even for you.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are. But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels.
We're at the edge of the quadrant. Help isn't just gonna pop over like we're in Sector 001.
Wouldn't hurt to try.
You talk like you've never had your backs up against a wall before. This is Starfleet. We solve our own problems.
Resurgence.
Okay, stand back.
I know.
Strag?
Get this to the
Well, I
containment
figure it was Galaxy's fault this time.
That wasn't my fault.
I'll let you know when it's
Oh,
safely
you wouldn't
confined.
shut up. You're just
Oh,
going
we'll
off
be
like a
there.
banshee.
I studied this down in main engineering.
Damn it, Strag!
Hey, I'm
You had
just
to
calling
say
it as I see it. Just calling it as I see it.
Almost forgot.
And I noticed you were
Yay.
doing it this time
I
as
made
a
my girlfriend
response to
happy
me
again.
talking, so...
Yay!
For a
I think
second,
he was just
thought she'd
trying to
gone
get me
cold
to
on
shove so that way he can listen to his game.
you. Like she might have changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's
So,
'cause this
I'm
is
just
all
trying to help
happening
you
so
out.
fast?
Let you
Of
play your
course
game.
she's taking it seriously.
Don't
but
be weird.
That's her job. She's on duty.
That's all I
She's
ever
gotta be
am.
on the lookout for danger.
That'll never change.
Yeah, but talking
Don't
about
be
sending a
Strag.
distress call on her own? That's going too far.
That's impossible. That's my name.
She was probably just thinking out loud. I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Now, we'll get through it. You, me, and Miranda too.
Commander Rydek was able to work behind the scenes during the negotiations and made contact with a representative from the Hotari delegation named Tylus. She mentioned an unusual artifact of unknown origin being held under tight security within the Hotari Palace, which she believes came from the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute. Commander Rydek, if you want to take it from here.
Of course. Tylus managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these scans using my tricorder. It appears to be some sort of control panel, possibly connected to the warp disruption weapon, originating on Tau. Of particular interest is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the origin of.
The Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
Cross-referencing with Federation records.
Displaying symbols from Federation database with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select a symbol to further analyze.
Oh. Ah. Magic symbol. Oh shit. Yeah. Piece of goddamn puzzle. What? Yeah. Right. No, that's the. Try every symbol, though. My God.
Oh, my next mission is a stealth mission.
Oh wow.
You can't get caught.
Let me guess, at the mines?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what, because I offered to go down that trip myself.
.2% match.
Got it.
So, what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Takan Empire. Their civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Takan were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Is it possible the Hotari found Takan technology?
I wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Takan is limited. I have only encountered passing references to them.
I can't speculate about how much they know, but one thing's for sure. They know how to use it.
Indeed.
Which might explain how they seized control of the mines.
And targeted us with a weapon that prevents warp travel.
Computer, what is the last recorded discovery of other Takan artifacts?
On stardate 41386.4, the USS Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, discovered a Takan outpost in the Delphi Arctic system. According to the mission summary, an unbreakable energy-draining field was deployed against the Enterprise.
Yep, Picard of the Enterprise D.
The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire.
Unbreakable energy draining field. It starts to make sense.
What else is there?
There's a lot here. Let's take it piece by piece.
Select the aspect you wish to learn more about.
Someone from the Takan Empire is actually still around.
Or at least was, 16 years ago.
Computer, what other information do you have on Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire?
The entity known as Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Takan Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Takan outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the Enterprise was released from the energy